Right, this is part 2 of the combative training, strength training program that I wanted to give you. Just a quick program with a minimal kit. So we said that we want bands first of all. So in terms of bands, the flat bands, varied lengths, varied thickness would be ideal. So you can get them in stages from lightest to heaviest. Tubular type bands are also efficient. These are the Get You Some bands from Pat McNamara. They're really great. Come in different strengths, and they are just a band loop that is in a rounded cable type formation. They're really good. Not necessarily that you get those, but you can get those sort of tubular type bands, or you can get flat type bands fixed in a loop. You can also get bands by design that come with handles and a variety of others that you can attach and get add strength to, so it doesn't hurt whatever type of band you've got to get yourself a handle, a carabiner. Like I said before, you need anchor points, so you can anchor it around a bar, you can make a fixture on your wall, you can use any number of things, just improvise. The ideal would be a low one, a middle one and a high one, or a structure like this where you've got a choice of where you can put it. The other thing that I suggest for this routine is going to be a medicine ball. This is just a 5 kilo slam ball, so it's not one of those that bounce back and knock the fuck out. It'll just stop where it hits or where it lands, so it's good. So in this one we're looking at anterior training. So the last one we looked at posterior training. So understand what that is. The pulling muscles on a horizontal plane, on a vertical downward plane, a vertical upward plane are your posterior chain. So the muscles of the pulling structure associated to your back. This is conducive in combatives when you clinch, grab somebody or reg them around into position so that you can smash living fuck out of them. The actual smash living fuck out of them part is usually incorporated with the anterior chain, so the part of the body that literally throws limbs forward and through, that explodes forward off the legs, etc. So think of the pushing structure or pushing plane on a horizontal sense and also on a vertical sense, pressing overhead. The muscles involved in a band press or a push-up are the same muscles involved when you throw a strike or throw a punch. Understand, all power in hitting comes through the floor. So if I was in a position, passive guard, throwing a palm strike from here before I grabbed hold of him and started to beat him down, the first motion that's exploding me into action is this acceleration off the back foot. I'm moving my body weight forward urgently as my limb connects with the target and the energy blasts through it. This is now anterior chain taking over. So all we're looking at is cultivating that kind of power. So if you think about a band press or a push-up done in a bilateral sense with both limbs, you are using the same muscles that you would punch with or that you would strike with, right? You're isolating them. And they are the pectoral major, the front anterior part of the deltoid, and the complete tricep complex. The initiation is exploding off the feet, moving into the direction of the strike as the transverse core engages and then fires the anterior chain in the tool through the target at the right depth. But all we're looking at is cultivating that. So the first exercise that we're going to do can be a push-up structure on a floor, or could be a band structure whilst you're stood up. So by that I mean, I take a band like so, I put it around my back and bringing it underneath my arms. The ideal starting position for that is my thumbs close to my chest. If there's too much gap, you might shorten the band or take more the hand grip backward on it so that you actually start at this position. But you want the ability to be able to punch your arms forward to full extension relatively quickly. And it's from there to start with that we're just going to hold that and then bring the arms back to where we started. So the idea, first of all, band press, explode it out, 5 seconds to lower it. Understand the exploding out part is a concentric contraction. Holding here would be an isometric static contraction, and then lowering slowly would be an eccentric contraction. So your first exercise is going to be from here, band punch, 5 second negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to do it 3 to 5 repetitions, okay? So as soon as you've done that, you would move to the next exercise. So in this sequence, you've got A1, A2, moving 2, B1, B2. 4 exercises total. You could add more, one more if you wanted to. You do the whole thing back to back to back, from one exercise to the other, to the other, to the other. The first 2 exercises are designed to switch on your starting strength fibres to wake up your musculature. And the second 2 exercises are designed to keep that musculature exploding by using now your explosive strength. So you remember from the first video, starting strength and explosive strength are the equation for speed strength. And the best way to train that is compound or complex training. So here, again, we're looking at from this position. Here, if you wanted, you could set up a band structure like so. So here I've tried to make a point, I've got some handles. Now this gives me scope to move forward if I want to make it harder, or move back if I want to slack it up. So just to recap again, you're going to go 5 repetitions of punching out, slow, negative. Here, again. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep tension on, make sure that the last rep was an effort. 3, 4, 5. The same exercise can be performed as a push-up. So you can do the exercise as a push-up position. So remember, push-up is a moving plank. So I want my feet together, I want my hands either side, I want my elbows to come down past my sides. I'm not winging out in this way. So what I would do this position, convex my back, so I've got that nice hollow body. From here I come down, press up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set number of reps. If you want to make it more difficult, you could add a small band, put around the back whilst you're doing the push-up. What you're looking for, fast push, slow negative for 5. Fast push, slow negative for 5. This is your first starting strength movement. A1. Right, moving to A2. So you're going to take a band structure. What you're going to use now is what's called pulsing reps, or partial reps. And then isometric holds. We're going to work 3 positions. So the position is going to work right off the start. I want a lot of tension at the start. It makes it impossible for me to push any further. In this position, I'm going to pulse that motion with 5 to 7 partial reps. From there, in a full extension of that partial rep, I'm going to hold for 5 to 7 seconds. Then I'm going to shake it out. Right? Then I'm going to move to the next position, which will be the halfway point. And I'm going to pulse for 5 to 7 reps in a halfway point. And then I'm going to isometrically contract at the hardest point of that and hold for 5 to 7. Finally, I'm going to extend to 2/3 or 3/4 of extension, so I'm not locking out, and I'm going to work the position between lockout and just before it for 5 to 7 pulsing reps, and then I'm going to hold the extreme part of that and then shake it out. That's all you're doing. 3 positions for 5 and 5 each time. So on a band set up like I've got here, you can also again do it as a push-up. So you can start here at the bottom, pulse, 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 pulse for 7, and then hold, and go to the next position, and then the next position. Because I wanted to start incorporating bands, I want you to start to get familiar with how to use them. So if I've got a looped band, it would be around my thumb, if that's tubular or flat. Make it more comfortable. You could put a handle to it. There's a carabiner and a handle that you can add, something like this. This will go to any type of band. Or you can get the bands with handles. Not imperative, just making it slightly more comfortable. Another thing you could do is take a little piece of pipe legging that goes around a pipe, the foam, cut it off, hand width, and put one over each of your bands. Now it's a little bit more forgiving rather than cutting into you. So again, moving to a position where as soon as I start to press, that's fucking hard, right? And it's from there I'm going to pulse for 7. So 7th, I'm going to hold for the same amount of time, and I'm pushing as hard as I can with isometric contraction. Push, 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 push. And I'll relax. Shake it out. Now, we'll take the next position. The next position will be the halfway point. About here, so I need to move right forward to get tension on that band in order to create that one I need. Right? So from there I'm going to pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Now ideally, the resistance that you choose with the band that you choose wants to make you fatigue or start to accumulate lactic acid at that rep range. If you feel that you could do another 10, then obviously you're not using enough resistance. The idea is to keep the resistance fitting to the number of reps. Again, you'd shake it out. Finally, you go to the almost full extension part. Yeah. From here, punch out. So that's the last quarter. I'm not extending to. I'm staying here. There's maximum tension. And press, just pulsing. Oh, I'm feeling what the fibres feel like. Imagining them switching on in my mind's eye. Here, I'm going to get 7. It's going to hold, 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 and then rest. So those 2 exercises done back to back in the way I showed you will now switch on all your available muscle fibres. The starting strength has been activated. Because from here, you're going to go straight in to your last 2 exercises, which will be the plyometric part. So now you're going to get them exploding. Here, first one, we're going to use the medicine ball. Now if you've got a partner, you can throw it to him. If not, you're going to use a ball as we'll see. Right? So literally all you're going to do is slam the ball into the wall and then catch it. So here, I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to throw it, keeping my elbows in. I'm also going to throw the wide strike, so I'm going to explode off the back foot and drop weight. I'm looking to throw the ball as vigorously as I can, so I'm going to throw the ball the way I would strike. I'm literally going to explode off the back foot, drop body weight, staying square, keeping my elbows in. I'm not winging. I wouldn't strike like that. I'd strike like this, so I have a power line. I'm going to throw the ball, boom, as I drop weight. And I'm going to throw it right through my fingertips as fast and hard as I can. Now I can do that bilateral. So from here, I'm just throwing into the wall. So 5 to 7 reps. This is bilateral. I can also, particularly on the band work, if I wanted to, rather than train it bilaterally as I've just shown you, I could train unilateral. And that means I throw one hand at a time the actual way I'm going to employ the strike. It's more time efficient to go bilateral, but you might mix it up. So you're going to do 3 cycles of this entire sequence for the anterior chain. So you might do the first bilateral, then you might do the second right dominant side, and then the third left dominant side. Or you might do them all unilateral or all bilateral, your choice. But if you do that, or you decide you want a bit of variant with the medicine ball, then you can throw the medicine ball unilateral. So literally I'm holding it in place, and I'm just going to throw it with one hand the way I would strike. Right? So looking at that, into the wall, I could go one arm at a time, or I could do one arm and then the other. So I go here, I could switch, yeah. Literally throwing it through. So if I was trying to throw it through his head. This is your first plyometric movement, 5 to 7 reps. Last plyometric movement I suggest you use, and you can use it if you don't have a medicine ball, is just some kind of plyo push-up. Now for a plyo push-up, you can push off the ground and trap your hands. You can push off the ground and extend your arms. You could push off and just simply let your hands leave the ground and then catch. So understand, when using an explosive type push-up, you don't want full range of motion. So I'm not coming all the way down and trying to explode from here. I would come all the way down and allow 1/3 left and then explode off that and catch myself on soft elbows. Now, plyometric exercises like this can be stressful to your joints. So my body now doesn't like them so much. So if plyometric push-ups were difficult for you or painful for you off the floor, then all you would need to do as one example, all you would need to do is do them off an elevated surface like so. So I can push and then release, push and then release. They'll work well this way. Figure it out. If it's too hard for you to do a plyometric push-up off the floor in a running push-up position, then simply just lower your knees. Take a link out kinetic chain. And from here down, come up, down, come up, down, come up, like so. Whatever works for you. And one brilliant way to assist the exercise and also conversely allow you to spend slightly longer in time frame in the explosive portion, which is what you're trying to manifest, is to take an overhead anchor point, a couple of bands, put your arms through so it's on your chest, and take that push-up type position. Now when I come down and push off, I'm band assisted, right? So from here, what I'm going to do is just down, a set number of reps, right? That's your sequence. So 4 exercises, 2 for starting strength, 2 for explosive strength. You go A1, A2, straight 2, B1, B2. Or straight 2 from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, to keep it simple. This would be one cycle. Rest, couple of minutes, get your heart rate back down, breath back to normal, repeat. Minimum of 3 cycles will finish the workout. It could be done 30, 35 minutes, a bit hard, get gone. What you would supplement in terms of posterior and anterior chain, as we've seen, you would supplement any transverse core work, which I'll cover for you in another video, and also the squat plane, as well as working your neck and your grip.